Hi, hello. Oh my gosh, guys. The funeral is over. They're all pulling out, so I thought I would go ahead and jump on because I'm not going to the cemetery. It's at the National Cemetery up in Canton. There's this siren escorting them. Anyway, it doesn't start till 2 and it's 12:42, and so they're gonna have to get up there and wait. What I didn't know is when you go to the National Cemetery like that, you have a time slot of 30 minutes that you have to be there, and you have to get out in that 30 minutes because according to whoever, they said they have a funeral there every 30 minutes. Isn't that something? Well, anyway, it was you hate to say it was a wonderful funeral because it was a funeral, but I love when you can attend a funeral and it's truly a joyous gathering. We're not celebrating his leaving this world. We're celebrating the life he lived and the funny stories and all the things he did for people. I love when people can gather together and it be such a joyous moment just to celebrate the person. I hope y'all understand that because I'm probably not explaining it all that well. But anyway, he was a wonderful person. And for those who missed the other video, it's my sister-in-law's father, and he was 91 years old and he got cancer, and he did okay for a while, but he did not want any treatments, and he started going downhill from it, of course, as anyone would. I gotta make a stop. I'll be back. Okay. I had to make a stop. I didn't have to make a stop, but I made a stop because when you come to Cartersville, I have to stop at the Glitzy Chicks, okay? Is it bad that I went to Glitzy Chicks after a funeral? I don't think so. But I got a cute pair of shoes for $20, okay? They were on sale. They're kind of a camo green-ish color. I had to have them for $20, right? It would be a sin to leave them. Okay, maybe sin is the wrong word. Anyway, and I got a t-shirt because I need another t-shirt in my life. But it's real cute and it's got a guitar on it. I had to. Okay, can we discuss what I chose to wear to a funeral? I look like I'm going to some summer camp somewhere with a yellow top and blue and white striped palazzo pants. And everybody else walks in wearing black because it's a funeral. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I wanted to bring the sunshine, and I did. I brought the sunshine, okay? I am also crossing 82 lanes of traffic so I can go get me something to eat. Anyway, I felt a little out of place with my brightly colored clothes. That's okay. I've always marched to the beat of a different drummer. And today I marched in my yellow, in my yellow shoes. At least I matched, right? And I had on my joyous rainbow colored bracelets. So there, hold on. Can't go anywhere. Okay, I went through the drive-thru at the Steak and Shake because I wanted some fries. Because I can't eat really nothing else. I mean, it's not that I can't eat it. Okay, it's hard to get a hamburger or a hot dog without a bun when you're driving. It's not hard to get it. It's hard to eat it. Because I can't have the bun, you see. So I just got fries. And I just looked over at her as she was putting it in the bag. And she held up a pack of salt. And I was like, sure. What are you asking me? Do I want salt? I guess. I don't know. Do you put salt on them? I've never had someone just hold up a packet of salt to me at a drive-thru. I got a packet of salt. I better taste them first. My mother used to salt everything. I mean, like, they'd be salty and she'd still be salting it. And I'm like, we don't need that much saltiness in our life. these need salt. We need this kind of saltiness in our life, okay? You know, when my mom was here and much younger, we used to go everywhere together. We used to travel together. Not like, I mean, we didn't travel to that many places. We went to Virginia, we went to Florida, we went to North Carolina, you know. But her sister and mom lived in Rome, so, you know, we would hit the road and go to Rome, or we would go up to North Georgia and we'd stop and see my sister, and that's kind of traveling I'm talking about. Just riding the roads, riding dirty, riding dirty. Anyway, we would stop and get a bag of fries like this, because I can just eat fries for dinner or lunch. Depends on where you're from. Sometimes people call it dinner, and some people call it lunch, and sometimes supper is called dinner, and sometimes it's called supper, so it's very confusing. Oh, y'all are shaking. Oh, my phone's ringing. Anyway, my brother called, sorry. Anyway, as we would be riding the roads, and she'd be screaming at me because of my driving, she would take fries out of the bag and shove them in my mouth. I'd be driving, paying attention to the road, listening to her yelling at me about my driving. She didn't really yell at me. Well, she did sometimes. But this mouth. No. This hand would come over with a handful of fries, and she would just shove them in my mouth. And I would just start chewing. And then she'd eat a few, and then she'd shove a few more in my mouth. That's how we ate when we were on the road. But this one time that she did yell at me a lot, up until like the last few years of her life, when she finally forgot about it, we went up to, oh, I forgot the name of the place. It's geez, oh Pete, it's called Blood Mountain, and it's the highest peak in Georgia. And we drove to the top, and then as you're coming back down, because it's so steep, they have these pull-offs for like not transfer trucks. I cannot, tractor trailers and stuff like that. Or you know, your brakes go out or something. But anyway, they have these long pull-offs so that you could pull off over there, and it's, you know, gravel and stuff that helps slow you down, I suppose. Well, anyway, apparently I was driving too fast and going around those curves and all this stuff, and she yelled all the way down that hill. She was so dramatic. And then we went to see my sister where she works. She still works there. And she had to tell her all about it and how she was scared to death. But then she did say, but she is a good driver. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, as my friend Amber used to say after riding with her, but did you die? But did you die? No, you didn't die. So it's okay. I'm not that bad of a driver. I'm not a bad driver. I'm a good driver. It's just back in the day, I was a fast driver. I'm not as fast anymore. Speaking of wrecks, I like how I transition. My dad, he sent me a text this morning at 9:45 and said he was leaving to go to the funeral home, which was a 30 to 40 minute drive. And I was like, but he left early because he thought the family would be at the funeral home, and the family wasn't going to be at the funeral home till 11:30, which is when they told us to be there. But I think he thought they would already be there. Plus, he's worse than me about arriving early at places. So he just wanted to get there because he didn't know where he was going and all that stuff. So then he called me a few minutes after he texted, and he said, there's a bad wreck over here at Bells Ferry in Piedmont. And I said, well, I'm not leaving for an hour, so it'll probably be gone by then. It wasn't gone. It must have been a really bad wreck for there to still be like 6 police cars at that intersection an hour later. So I hope that person is okay. I would just like to say that the Mustang that jumped over into the emergency lane, I just passed him. He got so far ahead, and he's like holding back, and then he's revving his engine to go forward about, I don't know, 50 feet, and then he's having to stop again. But there is a fire truck right here on the side of the road, so I guess there's been a wreck, Or is that a fire truck? That's not a fire truck. What is that? Oh, it's a crane. Did the crane break down? Did you break down? You need some help, fella? I can't help you. Oh, this traffic. Hold on. I'll just hold it because I ain't going but 12 miles an hour. 10, 9. Lovely, lovely traffic. I love it.
It's great. I mean, I don't have that far to go until I can get out of this mess, but until then. But yeah, I passed the black Mustang that flew all ahead of us. He's way back behind me now. Big dummy. Hold on.
It doesn't matter though. When I get on the interstate, I-75 from Cartersville to Kennesaw, it doesn't matter what day of the week. It doesn't matter the hour of the day. It could be a Sunday afternoon. It could be a Monday morning. It doesn't matter. I am going to sit in traffic. It's worse here, I think, than it is downtown Atlanta. And I don't know why. I don't know why it keeps bottlenecking. I give you the face. She's a bottlenecking. It's a great and wonderful day. I just want to get off. Oh, and then there's a dude on one of those little bitty fast motorcycles. Since I'm sitting here, I'll show you my shirt that I also bought. There's the shoes for a better look. I'm at a standstill, so I might as well show you, right? That was free. You know I love my headbands. It says, still, I will praise you. And in the middle, it says, it is well with my soul. And it has a guitar and angel wings. Isn't that cute? I had to have it. And it'll go with my new shoes. Which I won't be wearing them new shoes till it cools off because they're suede-ish. You know, suede-like. They're not exactly suede, but they're suede-like. You remember the, Louis Vuitton purses? Reba. I don't know if I've ever told this story about Reba, but one time, many years ago, Reba, who grew up poor, like most of us did, had to work hard for the money. Well, she decided that she wanted a Louis Vuitton purse. And she would think about this purse and, you know, all this stuff. She never would get it. She never would spend the money to get the purse. Well, one night, she was awakened to the sound of what sounded like somebody breaking into her house. She didn't know what it was. She just heard a loud sound. She jumps up to go to the door. To go clear the house, to use some police jargon. She went to clear the house. She said her back door was wide open. Now, I don't know if somebody broke into her home or if she didn't secure the door, but either way, she heard the sound. Her back door was wide open. She said she cleared the rest of the house, opening closets, you know, checking the basement, everywhere. Nobody's in the house. And Reba was kind of dramatic, like my mama. And she went and just collapsed on the sofa. And to hear her tell the story, she's like, I collapsed on the sofa. And I was like, well, Lord, I could have died tonight and never owned a Louis Vuitton purse. So I picked up the phone, one of them TV channels that sell stuff online in the middle of the night. Where back then it was the middle of the night. Home Shopping Network or whatever. She said, I picked up the phone and I dialed the number and I ordered me that Louis Vuitton purse. And she said it was $800. And she said, but I had been saving for that purse and I finally got it. And she said, so now I can die a happy woman because I have my Louis Vuitton purse. Okay, cool. Well, then a few years go by and I think some of the stitching from the strap to the purse started giving way or something. I don't remember what it was. There was an issue with the purse and she carried it all the time. It was a big one. Because this, y'all, was back in the 90s, early to mid 90s. So $800 back then, it was a big purse. So anyway, we had a cobbler. Is that what they're called? A cobbler who repairs shoes and stuff. He had a shoesmith. a leathersmith. I don't know. Anyway, he had a shop on the square where we worked. And oftentimes during lunch, we would walk up to the square to shop or, you know, like take our jewelry to get fixed or whatever, because they had all this different stuff. Well, she took her prized possession, her Louis Vuitton purse, into this cobbler's place of business. I don't know what else to call it. She said something has happened in the stitching and something, and he said, well, that's what happened when you buy them LV purses. And she's thinking Louis Vuitton, right? It's LV. She just kind of smiles at him, and he says, you know what LV stands for, don't you? She says, well, Louis Vuitton. And he said, nope, lousy vinyl. Ooh, she was so mad. Are you kidding me? I gotta get back over. This lane ends. Where were the signs? The road just ended. Anyway, yeah, her prized possession, Louis Vuitton purse, and he called it a lousy vinyl purse. Oh, she was mad. She was so mad. How dare him call her purse that? Anyway, that's the story of the Louis Vuitton. Yes, and how she got it. Why she got it. Because she lived her whole life without having one. And she could have died that night and never had one. Alright, I'm moving now, so I gotta find my way home, so I'll be back. Well, I stopped again because I had to go to Petco because I remembered that Penelope has no more dog food, so I had to stop and run in and get some dog food. Well, the strangest things happen. Maybe because I'm always paying attention. I don't know. However, I am standing there minding my own business while she works for Petco, but I don't know if she's bringing things back. I don't know what's going on. I think they're giving her a refund for something, and she's buying something. Anyway, it's taken forever. And so I walk off and start looking at other stuff, and I come back and they're still working on stuff. One cashier, right? I mean, I'm not irritated with it. You got to do what you got to do. It's not the girl's fault. She's the only one working, right? So I'm not going to get upset with her. Well, anyway, long story short, the person who she's checking out, like I said, worked for Petco. I don't know. She had on a Petco shirt. That's all I know. And all of a sudden, she says something in this little, almost like a tiny baby voice, to this person who's checking her out, of course, which draws my attention because I'm like, what are you talking about? You talking? You saying something out loud? Because I can't hear you. I'm standing right here and I can't hear you. And it was like, and you know, that kind of draws your attention in. And then she walks over and she bends over, and the girl that is working the checkout, she's got on one of these little like duty belt type things, you know, like it has pockets in it for stuff. The girl who's checking out, being checked out by the checker outer, she goes, and she sticks her finger in the pocket of the duty belt, which is down here, right? And I'm like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? What? I don't know if I want to look, but I'm already looking, and it's like a train wreck because I can't look away. What are you doing? Why are you sticking your finger in that pocket and talking like that? And it's right down here, right? So at this point, I'm like trying to look away, but I'm all big-eyed, right? Because you have to get big-eyed when you experience something like that. So then that girl walks off, and I walk on up, and I said, I'm sorry, but I just have to ask, what's in your pocket? What's in your pocket that she was petting and talking to, like me, like that? What's in your pocket, lady? And she reached in to this pocket, and she kind of pushes the pocket down to where I could see the head of something. I said, is it a hamster? Because I used to have hamsters as a kid. My poor mother had to take one to the emergency vet one time because I was freaking out. Emergency vet, yeah. I can't even imagine how much that cost. But anyway, she did, and we had to rub cream on its butt. My mother was such a good soul. Anyway, she says, no, it's not a hamster, it's a rat. And And I was like, oh, it had a white head. And it did not have pink eyes, or I would have noticed that it was a rat. You know, the white rat with the pink eyes, or the red eyes, or whatever. The eyes, anyway. She pulls it all the way out, and it had a tail that was about that long, hanging off its body that was about that long. And I went, oh. She said, you want to pet it? And I was like, okay. Okay. I wish Trina Delk was in the car with me right now, because Trina would be dying, because she knows the look that I give in these situations, but I do it anyway. And I reached over and I barely petted that rat's head. And then I stopped and she finished ringing me up, and I don't know that I ever said another word to her. I was too in shock. I was just in shock. I just petted a rat. I kind of liked it. Not really. I didn't really like it. That's a lie. You know that song, I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It? Yeah, that's where that was supposed to be going. But, I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I'm just going to say it wasn't terrible. I didn't want to hold it, though. I'm glad she didn't say, you want to hold it? Because I'd have been like, no. Look who's waiting on me at the door. Penelope is standing at the door. Well, she just laid down, but she was sitting up. She was sitting up. Why do I keep saying that? She's waiting on her mommy at the door. That door is dead bolted. Thank you very much. And I have Gladys watching over my house, i.e. Joan. All right, well, I'm getting out. Well, I'm home and changed, and that's that. So I hope you enjoyed this crazy, wild ride of mine to Cartersville and back. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember that I love you, and Jesus loves you, and I hope he's coming back soon, because these people be crazy. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries, okay? I'm hanging up first. Okay. No, you hang up. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.